Don't yawn. The full name or abbreviated name? Your real name? I'm Albert Oldakowski, Jr.
I was born Katrina Mary Stockman in 1943. You didn't ask about the year, did you? Well, you got it. And married Al Oldakowski in 1960. You didn't ask that either. Okay, let's start again.
I did my part.
You didn't use your middle name. I was born and named Katrina Mary Stockman, and then I married. Oh, I got to tell you how I got the Oldakowski.
No, I'm Albert Oldakowski, Jr.
I'm Katrina Mary Stockman Oldakowski. And we are married
53 years. I was born in the year of 1942.
I was born in the year of 1943.
Before I was born, my parents got married right out of high school because World War II had started. And my dad went off to the Navy, and I was born in 1942. And he didn't see me from 1943 until the war ended in 1945.
My mother, before she married my father, was probably working in a five and dime store. My father was a door-to-door salesman. He was one of the best. He could sell anybody anything. He was a fast talker and people didn't know what he was saying and they bought it, but they loved him. I am the daughter of a mother who didn't work, but mother of daughters who do. So that was a big thing for a mother to go to work.
My childhood was very good, very nice. In fact, throughout my whole childhood, I don't think I was indoors more than an hour a day. And if we were indoors, usually, a lot of the parents would kick us out and say, go on outside and play.
My childhood was exciting and colorful. A lot of the things I did, I continue to do today, and that is to play.
I had a very good relationship with my parents. Every weekend in the summer, we would go to church on a Sunday and go to the beach for the rest of the day. We had a lot of picnics with our families.
My relationship with my parents, I involved them in a lot of things. If I was in a play, supported me, went to the shows, my lines with me, always bringing home animals, stray animals, cats, dogs. My mother never knew what I was going to bring in the front door or who or what. And I was a challenge as a child.
Now, we didn't get a television until I was like 9 or 10 years old. So we listened to the radio before that. And then when we got a television, the TV stations were only on for like maybe 4, 5, 6 hours a day. It wasn't on all day long.
We have to think back to our grandparents. When an airplane would go overhead, they would stop to look at that. And just things like we didn't have a microwave, we didn't have a lot of convenience. They just weren't that accessible.
Rock and roll. My very first record that I bought when I was maybe 12 years old was See You Later Alligator by Bill Haley and the Comets.
Even before rock and roll, which we experienced, wasn't even aware that there wasn't music for teenagers.
And our children, some of them at times have said, boy, we wish we grew up in your age because of the rock and roll. We met when I was 15 when her cousin introduced us, and we dated off and on for 5 years. Then I realized she was the one, and so I asked her to marry me, and then we got married.
It was interesting for both of us. We lived around the corner from each other, so we came from the same neighborhood. But it wasn't until we were teenagers that we met.
We got married in 1963, October 12th.
We thought that we were getting married older at 20 because your parents were married at what age?
18.
18, so 20 for us was older. So we were having children and some of our friends weren't even married yet. And now the trend is to marry even later. It's changed. The wife stayed home and the husband went to work. And when I was growing up, you could be a secretary, a school teacher, or a nurse. Those were your three choices. There was nothing else really offered.
Number one, I think it's a lot harder to grow up today than at the time I grew up. And it doesn't seem like people forgive each other as much now as they did back 50, 60 years ago. And that's something we've got to get back to doing and lighting up a little bit.
If anything we need in today's life is hope, and that it doesn't have to be black and bleak and dark, because there is goodness, and there's goodness in everyone. But I think there's also a hopelessness that's bred in our media.
Okay, that's all I have for you guys.
Wow.
Now, do we have to belong to the union to get paid for this?
No.